Okay, today is an Algebra 1 review. We are adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So, looking at number 1. First of all, a polynomial just has terms that are being added or subtracted. Now, this first one in the parentheses, how many things are being added together?
2.
3. So that one is going to be called a trinomial. Down here, this one right here has 2 terms being added. So what would that be called? A binomial. So if it has 2 terms being added, it's a binomial. If it has 3 terms being added, it's a trinomial. But like this one at the top where it has 4 terms, we call it a polynomial. Anytime it has more than 3 terms, it's called a polynomial. So looking at number 1, we need to add that trinomial with a polynomial. And I know that we are adding because what symbol do you see between the parentheses?
Addition.
An addition symbol. So all we have to do is collect the like terms. And your answers have to be in standard form, which means the highest power for x needs to go out front. So looking at number 1, what's the highest power for x?
2.
Higher than 2.
3.
Right here, the x cubed. If it's the only one, bring it down. So bring down your 14x cubed. After x cubed, what's the next highest power?
3x squared.
The x squared. So we have a 3x squared and a 1x squared that need to be combined. So 3x squared plus 1x squared gives me how many x squared? 3 plus 1 is 4. So plus 4 x squared. And then after x squared, we'll have just the x's. What happens right here? We have a positive x and a negative x. They cancel out. And the last thing that you should have left each time would be the constant. So I see a 7 plus 2 is 9. So we need to have a plus 9 at the back. That's the answer, because can I combine an x cubed and an x squared? No, so that is the final answer. Number 2, same thing. We need to add them together. So start with the highest power. So what is the highest power?
X squared. X cubed.
X cubed. So we have a 2x cubed and a 1x cubed. When I add those together, what do I get?
3x cubed.
3x cubed. After x cubed, what comes next?
X squared.
The x squared. We only have 1, so bring down your positive 5x squared. After the x squared, we'll combine the x's, so we'll have negative x plus 7x.
Minus 6x plus 6x.
Yeah, it's a positive 6x, so plus 6x. And the last thing you should have each time should be the constant, and 9 plus 4 is?
13.
13.
That's all we're doing.
That's all we're doing on the top section with the addition.
So can we skip all those now?
Let's do number 3 because it's a little bit different. We have x squared, we have y squared, and we have xy. So when you have multiple variables, you still have to go alphabetically. So if you notice for the x's, we have x squared. Notice we have x squared and xy. So if you have 2 of them that start with an x, the one with the highest power for x goes first. So the x squared needs to go first. So we have a 10x squared and a 3x squared. So what is 10x squared plus 3x squared?
13.
13x squared. Then our xy's will be next because it still has an x out front, so we want the x's first alphabetically. And what is negative 3xy plus 5xy? 2xy, and that's a positive 2xy. And what's the last thing we have left? 4y squared. So if it's the only one, just drop it down. So plus 4y squared. Now on the next example, we are no longer adding. What are we doing? Subtracting. So what you have to do with the subtraction is this is a negative 1 out front. The negative 1 will need to be distributed. Yes, I can go back to number 3. There's number 3. 13x squared plus 2xy plus 4y squared. Okay, number 4. If you have a subtraction, that is really a negative 1 that has to be distributed. So what's in the first parentheses, just drop it down to bring down the 1 minus x squared. Now distribute your negative. So negative 1 times 3x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. So if you're subtracting, distribute the negative 1. Now it's back to what we were just doing. Combine your like terms. Start with the highest power for x. So what do I combine first?
X squared.
The x squared. So we have the negative 1x squared and a negative 3x squared. What does that give me?
Negative 4x squared.
Negative 4x squared. Then bring down the minus 2x. It's the only one, so just drop it down. And the constant should be the last thing you combine together. And we have a 1 plus 5 gives us
6.
6. So plus 6 at the back. And I'll box this in so you know that this was our final answer. Number 5, when we are subtracting, what do we have to do with that negative? Distribute that negative 1. It's really a negative 1 that we'll have to distribute. So the first parentheses, drop it down to bring down the 3 minus 2x squared. Now distribute our negative 1. What's negative 1 times x squared? Negative x squared. What's negative 1 times 6? Negative 6. And negative 1 times negative x. Positive x. Now, combine your like terms. Which ones do we combine first? The x squared is the highest power. So it's negative 2x squared minus 1x squared. Negative 3x squared. There's only one x, so bring down the plus x. And the constants are always last, so what is 3 minus 6? Negative 3. Okay, I want you to do number 6. Yeah.
Not into that.
No, we have to do that. We have to do that like Friday. Why are we doing all of them? Because what we're doing today is going to be a majority of your test next week. You want to make sure you are adequately prepared for your test next week. You taking any We're working on number 6. Okay, number 6. If you are subtracting, you have to remember to distribute that negative 1. So bring down the first one, so bring down the 4x squared. minus 3y squared plus 5xy. And negative 1 times 8xy is negative 8xy. Negative 1 times 6x squared is negative 6x squared. And negative 1 times negative 3y squared is positive 3y squared. Which one should we combine together first? The x squared. So we have 4x squared minus 6x squared gives us negative 2x squared. After the x squared, we'll have the xy, because x needs to come before the y squared. And for the xy, what is 5 minus 8? Negative 3 for the xy. And for the y squared, what happens with our y squared? They cancel. Negative 3, positive 3 are a 0 pair. So the answer is just negative 2x squared minus 3xy. No, because the y's cancel. We have negative 3y squared, positive 3y squared. They zero out. Okay, number 7. How is number 7 different? It's longer. We have addition and we also have subtraction. So let's go ahead and combine the first two. So start with your u cubed. We have negative 5u cubed and negative 2u cubed gives us what? Negative 7u cubed. Yeah, we'll get to the minus here in just a minute. And now for the u squared, we only have the negative 8u squared, so we'll just drop that one down. And for the u, what is 9u minus 8u? 1u. Now, when I get to this minus, what do I have to remember to do? Distribute that negative 1. So what's negative 1 times negative 4u squared? Positive 4u squared. What is negative 1 times 2u squared? Negative 2u squared. And negative 1 times negative u is positive u. Yes.
40.
Oh, yes, this first one was cubed. That was 4u cubed. Now we need to combine our like terms. And which ones do we start with?
U.
The u cubed. So it's negative 7u cubed plus 4u cubed. Negative 3u cubed. After the u cubed will be the u squared, so it's negative 8u squared minus 2u squared.
Negative 10u squared.
Negative 10u squared. And then for the u plus u is 2u. 1u plus 1u is 2u. Okay, so that is it for the addition and subtraction. So the last section is the multiplication.
Oh, then another one.
No dividing. That would be
And
next.
we're back to the other multiplication hard.
Multiplication is not hard. You solve this in algebra 1. It's just been a lot. So it's easy.
This is easy there. That's easy.
Okay, number 8. How do I multiply that? What is that called?
You want to distribute?
Distribute. So we have to remember our exponent properties. When I multiply and the bases are the same, what do I do with the exponent?
Multiply. Or subtract that.
Add them. When you're multiplying, the bases are the same, add them. So the coefficients need to be multiplied. So this one has a coefficient of 3. This one is a 1. So multiply the coefficient, add the exponent. So 3 times 1 is
3.
3. And for x squared times x to the third, we need to add those exponents. So 2 plus 3 gives us 5. Do it again. This time the other one doesn't have an exponent there, so it's just 3x squared times 4, which gives us 12 x squared. However many terms you have inside the parentheses, that's how many answers you should have. So we have two things inside the parentheses, you should have two separate answers. Number 9, again, we are also distributing. So multiply the coefficient and add the exponent. So this one is a 4, this one is a 1. What is 4 times 1? 4. And y to the second times y to the second. Add the exponent. So it's 2 times 2 plus 2. 4. So it is multiplied and the bases are the same. Add the exponent. And for the last answer, what is 4y squared times 3? 12y squared. Number 10. Now we have multiple variables. If you have multiple variables, do them in alphabetic order. So when we multiply this first one, we need to multiply the a's first. So a to the first times a to the third, add those exponents. 1 plus 3 is 4, and only one of them has a b, so just drop it down. So a to the fourth b. For the next one, when we multiply the coefficients, we have a 1 out front. So what is 1 times 3? 3. Multiply the a's. A to the first times a to the first. A squared. 1 plus 1 is 2. For the b's, what is b to the first times b to the second? B cubed. 1 plus 2 is 3. And for the last one, positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Only one of them has an a, so drop it down. And b to the first times b to the third is b to the fourth. 1 plus 3 is 4. And number 11. Again, we are distributing. Multiply the coefficients. What is 3 times 4? 12. And what do I do with the exponent? Add them. So for the x's, 2 plus 2 is 4. And for the y's, 1 plus 1 is 2. Distribute one more time. What's 3 times negative 6? 3 times negative 6. Negative 18. X to the second times x to the first. X to the third. Y to the first times y to the first. Y squared. And for the last one, what is 3 times 14?
42.
42. For the x's, x to the second times x to the first. X cubed. And for the y's, y to the first times y to the second.
Y cubed.
Y cubed. It's long, but easy.
Ooh, wait.
Nope. Yeah.
So, you know how you just say you think of Polynomials inside the parentheses?
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3 inside the parentheses, so my answer will have 1, 2, 3 answers. That would mean added or subtracted. Next one. Now they gave us some fractions, but same concept. Multiply your coefficient. So over here, negative 3/4 times 8. 4 and 8 have a common factor of what? 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So negative 3 times 2 gives us negative 6. So when you multiply the coefficients, it's negative 6. And m to the second times m to the second is m to the fourth. Multiply again. So for the coefficients, this time it's negative 3/4 times negative 16. This time 4 and 16 have a common factor of 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. And when I multiply what's left, negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. So positive 12. Then multiply the m. M to the second times m to the first. M to the third, m cubed. One last time for this one. Negative 3/4 times 20. 4 and 20 have a common factor of
4.
4, so 4 divided by 4 is
1.
1, and 20 divided by 4 is
5.
5. Multiply what's left. What's negative 3 times 5?
15.
Negative 15. So this will be negative 15. Only one of them has the m, so drop down the m squared.
Why did you just put 12 and 30? Why did you put the 32?
Because we multiplied for the second one, this was m to the second times m to the first. So when you're multiplying, the bases are equal, you added the exponent. So 2 plus 1 gave us the 2. Number 13, we have a binomial times a binomial. So to multiply two binomials together, some teachers call it FOIL. Some teachers call it double distribute. We'll just call it double distribute because we're just distributing anyway. So for double distribute, it's called double distribute because we're going to distribute twice. So the first thing we're going to distribute is the x. So distribute the x. So what is x times x? X squared. What is x times 5?
X plus, I don't know.
5x. So that's the first round of distributed. Now we need to distribute the second term. So now we'll distribute the 3. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. 90% of the time, you'll have like terms right here in the middle. And are 5x and 3x like terms? Yes, make sure you combine them together. So bring down your x squared. 5x plus 3x is 8x. And bring down the plus 15. Number 14. Okay, number 14. We're not starting the list right now. We're going to concentrate on getting these notes complete. Okay, number 14. A binomial times a binomial. Double distribute. So we need to distribute the 2x. What is 2 times 3? 6. We're multiplying. 2 times 3 is 6. And x times x is x squared. What is 2x times negative 7? Negative 14x. And the second thing we need to distribute is the negative 4. What's negative 4 times 3x? Negative 12x. And negative 4 times negative 7? 28. 6 times 4 is 26. 7 times 4 is 28. Now, most of the time, you'll have like terms in the middle. So negative 14x, negative 12x. Are those like terms? Yes, they need to be combined. So bring down the 6x squared. And when you combine negative 14 and negative 12, what does that give us for x? Negative 26 plus 28. And the next one, number 15. How do you multiply two binomials? Double distribute. So what's the first thing we distribute? So 4x. So what's 4 times 2? 8, and x times x? X squared. What is 4x times y? 4xy. What's the second thing we distribute?
Negative 3.
So negative 3y. So it's negative 3 times 2?
Negative 6y.
Negative 6, and y times x, write it alphabetically, it needs to be xy. That way we have like terms in the middle. And what's negative 3y times y? Negative 3y y squared. So negative 3y squared at the back. And again, most of the time, where do you have your like terms? In the middle. So bring down the 8x squared. Combine your xy's. 4xy minus 6xy is?
Negative 2xy.
Negative 2xy. Bring down the minus 3y squared. Okay, I want you to do number 16.
You know what you're doing? Huh?
Okay, we need to double distribute. So what's the first thing we distribute? The 3x. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. What do we distribute next? Negative 5. What's negative 5 times 3x? Negative 16x. Minus 25. What happens when we combine these in the middle?
They cancel.
Yeah, there's 0 pairs, so they go away. So the answer is just 9x squared minus 25. Number 17 has several variables, so we'll have to be careful with this one. What do we distribute first? The 4a squared. So what's 4a squared times 4a squared? 16a to the 4th. What's 4a squared times negative 9b squared? First, let's start with the coefficients. So what's 4 times negative 9? Negative 36, and then a squared times b squared is? You just bump them together. A squared, b squared. Just like x times y is just xy. Just put them together. Now, what do we distribute next? The 9b squared, so it's 9 times 4, 36, and b squared times a squared. B squared, a squared, but put it alphabetically. A squared, b squared. Now we will have like terms here. And one last time was 9 times negative 9. Negative 81. And b squared times b squared is b to the 4th. Like terms, most of the time are in the middle, and what happens there?
They cancel out.
They cancel out again. So that gives us 16, a to the 4th, minus 81, b to the 4th. Okay, this next one. What does 3 squared mean? What does 3 squared mean?
You're gonna multiply it
That means 3 is multiplied
by 3.
by itself twice. 3 squared means 3 times 3. So if you have a binomial square, what you'll need to do is you'll need to scratch out the 2 and write it again. So 3x minus 1 squared is just 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. Now it looks like those problems we were just doing. So distribute the 3x. What's 3x times 3x?
9x.
9x squared. What's 3x times negative 1? Negative 3x. What do we distribute next? The negative 1. So what's negative 1 times 3x? Negative 3x. And negative 1 times negative 1?
Positive 1.
Positive 1. Now, do these cancel?
No.
No, because one of them is not positive. So bring down the 9x squared. Negative 3x and negative 3x gives us
6x squared.
negative 6x. 3 x's gives me 6 x's. And then at the back we'll have the plus 1.
It's not squared?
It is not squared. Only when you're multiplying. I want you to do number 19. So you'll need to scratch out the 2 and write it again. If you just square it, then you're missing the middle term. Like if you just square the 6x and square the 7y, you're missing the term that has the x1 in it. Just like up here, if you just squared the 3x and got 9x squared, and squared the negative 1 and got 1, you'd be missing that negative 6x in the middle.
Mira, chico, lo que más. That's right.
You're missing the middle term. And then you should have 4 answers, and then you write it in the middle. Yes. Okay, let's start these. The first thing you should have distributed was the 6x. And what is 6x times 6x?
36.
36x squared. 6x times 7y. 42xy. What do I distribute next? Got 7y. So what's 7y times 6x?
49xy.
42 xy. And 7y times 7y. 49y squared. Combine these two in the middle, so drop down to 36x squared. 42xy plus 42xy is 84xy plus 49y squared. Now, people have been asking me, can you just square it? We have 6x plus 7y squared. So what some people are trying to do is just square the 6x and get 36x squared. And then square the 7y and get 49y squared. Are these the same answers?
No.
No, so scratch out the 2 and double distribute, because you're missing 2 whole answers if you just try to square what you see. So don't do that, it'll get you the wrong answer every time. Okay, now, we have a binomial times a trinomial. We're still going to double distribute, we're just doing more of it. So distribute the x. What's x to the first times x to the second?
Oh, 2x. Right?
It's the same.
X to the third, this is a 1. 1 plus 2 gives us 3. We're multiplying, add the exponent. Now, x times 3x is?
Plus 3x squared.
3x squared. X times negative 1.
Negative 1x.
Negative 1x. What do we distribute next?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. When you distribute the second one, we're going to put those answers on the second row. So what's negative 2 times x squared?
Negative 2x squared.
Negative 2x squared. When I start my second row of answers, the second row starts in the second spot. That way my x squared line up. The second row starts in the second spot, so your x squared line up. The negative x came from x times negative 1. What's negative 2 times 3x? Negative 6x. What's negative 2 times negative 1?
2.
Positive 2. Now we're going to combine those two rows of answers. So the x cubed, drop it down, it's the only one. Combine the x squared, what's 3x squared minus 2x squared? 1x squared. For the x's, negative 1x, negative 6x gives me negative 7x plus 2. We don't combine these because you can't, these aren't like terms. This is x to the third, x to the second, x to the first. They're not like terms, they don't have the same exponent. Okay, next one. Still, double distributing. So distribute the 3b. 3 times 3 is 9, and b to the first times b to the second. B cubed. What is 3 times negative 1? Negative 3, and b times b is b squared. One of them has a c. Drop down the c with it. For the last one was 3 times negative 2. Negative 6, and b times c squared, bump them together. It says b c squared. Now, when I distribute the second one, those answers go on the second row and start in the second spot. So distribute the negative 2c. What's negative 2 times 3? Negative 6. And c times b squared, write it alphabetically, needs to be b squared c. Distribute again with negative 2 times negative 1. Positive 2, and then drop down the b, and c times c is c squared. One last time with negative 2 times negative 2. Positive 4, and c to the first times c to the second.
C to the third.
C to the third. Now combine your rows together. So bring down the 9b cubed is the only one. When we combine these, 3 negatives and 6 negatives leave me with negative 9. B squared c. Negative 6 plus 2 is?
Negative 4.
Negative 4 for the b, c squared, plus 4, c cubed. No, we don't need to skip the last one. Look at this difference. How's that one different?
Well, it's got a 3.
It has 3 of them, so we have to triple distribute. We need to have 3 rows of answers. So let the fun begin. Start with your 2x squared. What's 2x squared times x squared?
2x4.
2x to the 4th. What is 2x squared times 2x?
4x to the second.
4x
Cubed.
cubed.
Oh, cubed.
And 2x squared times negative 7.
Negative 14x squared.
Negative 14x squared. Second row starts in the second spot. So distribute the negative 4x. What's negative 4x times x squared?
Negative
4x squared.
Negative 4x cubed. The second row starts in the second spot. What's negative 4x times 2x?
Negative 8x.
Negative 8x. And what's negative 4x times negative 7? Oh, I didn't put the square. Negative 4x times 2x is negative 8x squared. And for the last one, negative 4x times negative 7 is
Negative 28x.
28x.
positive
28.
28x. Take it one more time. So the third one, distribute your 3. The third one is going to start on the third row, and it's going to start in the third spot. So 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 2x is
X,
and 3 times negative 7,
negative 21.
negative 21. Combine all 3 rows this time. 2x to the 4th, drop it down. Positive 4x cubed, negative 4x cubed. 0 there. For the x squared, what is 3 minus 8? And what's negative 5 minus 14?
Negative 19.
So negative 19 for the x squared. For the x's, 28 plus 6 is 34 x. And the last one is a constant, minus 21.
Self symbol,